Hi everyone, it is rainy and cold here in Spokane. I'm on my mother's porch, and I will be leaving to head back to Northern California tomorrow. And things will kind of get back to a more normal routine. Thank you all for being patient. I missed one video a little while ago in this transition, but other than that, I've been pretty good at keeping up, and I appreciate all you joining me. Right now, we are doing the numerology and astrology for May 21st, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 13, and if you add the 1 and the 3 together, you get the number 4. You've heard me say the number 4 is the number of neutral mind, harmony, balance, communication, cooperation, win-win. It's the number of psychology, therapists, people that have social skills, that engage with others, that help others and uplift others. So the number 4 opens up the conversation and hopefully opens up communication for all. There is a more profound desire to understand and find a way to connect. I believe that while we are we are deeply communal beings, our inner introvert got lots of practice in 2020, and now we are attempting to bring out that part that wants to connect with others in 2021. Good communication skills take time and effort. We are all working towards understanding and connection. What is important is that each of us needs to understand that we live and perceive from our own inner bubble. All bubbles are limited and not the entire picture. That is why we never completely trust our perceptions, especially if those perceptions are narrow, judgmental, and biased. We are in a time to expand conversations and hopefully our perceptions. Then our bubble stretches a bit more, and that is always a good thing. We cannot expect to evolve past this reality if we keep arguing for the limitations that our mind and ego throw up. We are here to use this world as a doorway to our creative self and, through that, be able to become more open and transcend those obvious restrictions and limitations. But we cannot transcend if we resist the truths that are right in front of us. That is why conversations are so important. Without being able to talk through things, we will not realize the restrictions that we keep manifesting through our own fear. The astrology. We are in a retrograde reality. Yeah, things could be worse, but now it's all about reviewing and reflecting. It seems a lot of information and patterns from our past are getting revealed. Truth and clarity are helpful right now. While the truth may be shocking, it can breed compassion in a whole new way. The sun in Gemini is squaring Jupiter early in the day, helping us expand and think in different ways, in significant ways. While there are limits in this realm, there are very new possibilities emerging, and we are moving into a very unique and fast-paced world. It is going to be difficult for those that resist this shift in perspective. That is why I believe many have and will continue to leave this planet. If any of us cannot adjust to the shifts in consciousness, these things will seem very difficult. But I don't believe anything happening is terrible. It is just that massive and rapid change is now going to become the norm for the next decade or many decades. And that is going to help us create a much better world if we can do it correctly. The sun brings a powerful state of mind that will come into balance with Jupiter's expansion. Just watch when you are pushing things a bit too far. That will create discomfort and push us past thresholds where we can cope effectively. Too many things seem to be taxing our energy right now. What is essential is to keep growing and allow for change. But awareness right now is forcing change as we realize that the patterns we were doing are becoming untenable. Bigger is not better at this time. Smaller and within our range of comfort is the path ahead. Because Mercury is squaring Neptune, know that judgment is a bit skewed. Things are not what they seem. The moon moves from opinionated Virgo into the equality-driven sign of Libra. After all, fair is fair. Time to be gracious and caring from a cooperative place. And my quote today: truth be told, no matter what, truth will out and hit the gut. It's hard to swallow, a bitter pill. Truth is something to make minds ill. Because thoughts cannot heal the soul, they are the process rather than the goal. Understanding helps appease the mind, but only time and integration by being kind can allow for that truth to write a new script. Truth can never be stopped or skipped. And my blog today, I didn't write it out, so I'm going to just kind of like free flow a blog. Um, what's been really great about being here in Spokane and being with family is watching the evolution of each person as COVID has hit all of us in ways that have forced us to redo and reevaluate our patterns and our choices. And in doing that and having all that alone time, coming around to the truth about what is not working and what is really bothering us, it's been really interesting to hear some family members say that they recognize that they don't know who they are. And they're now finding tools that are a more authentic expression of who they are. And that excites me so much because you can see in charts how, people are, they think they know who they are, and we think we're moving ourselves from our authentic self when we're actually moving things from our ego. And yeah, I think the whole process of stripping away the ego is so incredibly difficult because you don't even realize you're doing it when you're doing it. And how I find that our charts do not have to run us astrologically, but more often than not, they do. And even when you think you have transcended your chart, it's amazing how an aspect comes in and just nails you, even when you're aware that that pattern is coming in to nail you. And it's like the chart is the map and it's the guide, but it's also, that you have to learn this step and you're going to get hit with this step one way or the other. And so now that you've got this step, what are you going to do with that? And, even in my life, I can see the places that I have really transcended my chart, and then it's always shocking to suddenly notice, boom, where the chart hits and aligns, and you have to learn a new lesson. So it's been really interesting to watch my family go through this and actually be gaining insight and gaining awareness and self-awareness from the standpoint of recognizing that they don't know what they feel, and they recognize that they finally don't know what they feel, and that they have been afraid to feel, and they've been afraid to let certain things out. And in the process of that honesty reveal, then watching truth starting to come out about people's personal experiences about specific times and places, and realizing that when someone in your family is in a heavy personal process, the possibility of them being aware or self-aware enough to understand how they're impacting everyone around them, positively or negatively, in most cases negatively, that they don't have that ability. They don't have they're so consumed with trying to make it through their own chart and make it through their own aspects and make it through their own transitions, that it becomes an all-consuming thing. And anybody who tries to even get feedback, there's a boundary, there's like this pushback. And so, what I love about that is in recognizing that they weren't aware, and I always thought they weren't aware. And so you can't blame people, you can't get mad at people, because they're trying to survive. They're trying to make it through an incredibly difficult aspect in their chart, and that they don't have certain tools and skills. And so when you don't have skills, you get angry. So when you're afraid, you have a tendency to push out with anger and try to create boundaries and try and stop people or restrict people or limit people from overwhelming you. And I think one of the patterns that's been in my family the most has been just the sheer overwhelm. The busyness of this family, the busyness and the intensity of the dramas that have happened in my family, which I think probably happen in every family, but and how everybody established certain coping mechanisms that push back. And then other people feel like, oh, they hate me or they don't like me, which is totally not the case. That's not what the issue is. That people are just in overwhelm. And so I share all of that because I want you to kind of look at your family and say, maybe all these projections and judgments you have on people are based on your own insecurity and your own fear. And maybe you need to step back and just go, what if they are just in their own process and they can't handle one more piece right now? They can't handle one more thing coming in right now. So there you go. That's the blog for today. Thanks, everyone.